Hi all, welcome back to more 7 Days to Die. So what we're doing today, as you can see, we are in the morning of day 13, so we're getting ready for the day 14 horde. I've been making all sorts of supplies. Our trees look like they're about ready to harvest. Our apples are definitely ready to harvest. Haven't really done a whole lot with the farm, but I have been working underground, and I'll show you basically what I've been working on a little bit later. And what we're going to do right now is I want to check the trees. It helps if I okay, so we can either let it mature one more level, and I think that's what we're going to do, is we'll let it go for another in-game day or so. If we harvest these on day 14, or maybe even later today, they should be up to the 1,000 hit points. So we get twice as much wood, well, actually a little bit more than twice as much wood, and we get 2 of the pine cones to plant. So what we'll be able to do is once we plant these 15, well once we harvest these 15, we'll have 30 cones. We'll be able to finish off the planting them out here in the front area. Anything left over starts getting converted into feed, and then what we do is once every, I think, in-game, 3 days in-game, we'd be able to harvest them again for 2 more seeds, and so basically we'll be harvesting, you know, more than 60 seeds at a time. We replant 30 and rinse and repeat, and that basically will give us enough seeds to start making the animal feed, so we can start making the chicken coops as well as the animal traps, the snares. And yeah, so that's basically what the plan is there. Let me come over here really quickly because I do want to harvest the apples really fast. Well, I say really fast, but at least we're doing 2 points per hit and not 1 point anymore, right? Okay, so we got, what, 4 apples off that one? Now, if we were to use the axe, we get 1. That's what I was saying. You don't want to use the axe when you're harvesting apples. So we should be done with this here in a moment. So I just wanted to say happy Friday, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic week so far. Oh, been a long week for me, so over the course of this week ended up having to get a new water heater, so we'll see how that all works out. It just, yeah, it all just goes to pot when you know, one thing goes and it all goes. It's okay though, it's all good. So we ended up with 12 apples. We're going to convert those directly over to seed. No, not drop. You don't want to drop those. Alright, now, like I said, the nice thing is that once these are converted and planted, you know, that'll give us, what, 16 trees? Yeah. So, from that point, we'll be harvesting, like I said, on average 3 to 4 per tree. So, what is that, 16, so, you know, what was it? Yeah. 56, something like that. And then it is, actually, can I make cider? No, I have to do it inside. I think it's 2 per cider, so you end up with making, you know, roughly 28 cider per harvest, which is like every 2 days in game. So yeah, we've basically, once we get all of the seeds planted and everything's growing, we are pretty much completely self-sufficient at that point. Like I said, once we get the trees done and we get that cycle going, we'll actually have a perpetual amount of wood as well as seed for the animal feed. And once you've created the traps and snares, or the coops and snares, you don't have to reset them. I think for the animal snares I will have to, but for the coops I don't. It's only if I do the emergency harvest on those to get the extra meat. Alright, so let me show you what we've been working on inside. So, like I said, I've been working on, you know, I made almost 500 spikes. Our seeds are done now. Okay. Up here, we haven't really done too much. I've done a little bit of organizing. Let's see. we got everything out of there. I did make a crap ton of cement, so we've got 350 cement, which will turn into, what? Well, technically 350 buckets. But we'll deal with that in a moment. So let me show you what I've been doing back here. So first thing I did is I've double layered the wall in the back stockroom area. And because I had the benches in here, I didn't want to take those out if I didn't need to. But I may end up taking those out. I really don't want to take out the crates, obviously. And then I've reinforced up to the ceiling. So that way, if the zombies do break in or even take out the corner, there should be enough connected material that we won't lose the room. I would really hate to lose this place. Alright, so we're just going to put the light cobblestone frame in there. Alright, and then what I've done here is, as you can see, I've doubled up here. I'm leaving the walls that are here as well as the shelves, because those by themselves can take about as much damage as an unupgraded frame. So that should be just enough at least to slow them down. And again, they don't have to, you know, completely stop them. It just has to slow them down long enough for either the spikes outside to kill them or for me to get down here and take them out. And then we're going to do the same up here on the front. As you can see, I've already got the frames in. I've braced it all the way up to the ceiling. I do need to make a bunch more upgrade kits because I am completely out. I went through like 250 of them just with what I've done so far. And then, let me show you what's going on down here. There we go. So we now have an entrance area down here. I do have a vault door that I'm going to be putting on this thing. We're actually going to put that in right here, I believe. Yeah. Let's take this out really quick. So what I've done is, you can see all the behind the scenes of what I was working on and what I did. In the top right corner of your screen, that's the video that's playing in time lapse right now. Figured, you know, we might enjoy that. I've had some really good feedback on it. A lot of people seem to really like the idea of that, so you can see, you know, not just what I'm doing right now, but what I did to get to that point. So, alright, so let's go ahead and get these upgraded really quick. And I'll take you on a tour for the rest of the place because I need to get this done. Alright, so, and then we'll put the vault door right there. We now have the hallway over here, and I have taken it all the way over to the farm. This is what I was working on pretty much throughout the night. Go over to the vault door. That's the entrance to the farm. If we go through this door, that takes you over to where the bunker is being built. We still haven't finished the bunker. I haven't really started on that. I think I am going to do a little bit of work on that today on camera. We'll see if we can get things done and then show you what we're going to do from there. Because I do want to get as much of this done as possible before the day 14 horde. Because if I have to fall back here, we are going to need as much defense as we can get. So I do think that the working stiffs should be fine for the day 14 horde, but I would really like to get the bunker at least started, if not further along. Alright, so a couple more of these, right? How many more? Yeah, it's not too many more. Go ahead and do this. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do a quick pause, and I'll bring you back as soon as we're done doing all of these upgrades. See you in a bit. Alright, and we are back, and as you can see, we've gone ahead and finished up all of the upgrades up here. So we have our finished cobblestone ceiling in the tunnel, and then we have the beginnings of our floor. I will come back once I have the upgrade kits finished and finish all of this out. And what I'm going to do is actually expand this out on either side to make this more of a tunnel instead of a hallway. And what I want to have is at the end of each of these, well, specifically at the end of this one, we're going to have an area where if we are defending the door from the farm, basically there will be a kill area in front of the door. So I'm going to have to take this out like 3 or 4 blocks on either side. And then that way we'll be able to put in the iron bars to be able to shoot in, and then we're going to have the rest of this room be reinforced concrete by the time it's said and done. Alright, so that gives you an idea where we are on this. Hey, we've got... Come on. Alright, so... let's take a look and see what we've got out here. If we have anything... Note. Doesn't look like it. So now what I'm wanting to do out here is actually have this be built up into a tower, and then have a small, I guess you could call it a keep over here, which will be at least cobblestone. So I'm going to need to expand this out. I want to have this pad be a 5x5. When we're most of the way there, I basically just have to take it out, you know, here. That's should be our 5 that way to here, basically all the way around. And what that'll do is that gives us a nice platform to start with. We'll be able to have a little bit of emergency storage inside, as well as, you know, access to the upper area of the tower. And I just took all of that out that I didn't need to take out. See? I got ahead of myself. Oh well. Guess it's going to be 6x6 then. Let's get this in place. Oh man. Yeah, like I said, it's been definitely one of those days. Alright, so let's get... that's our... oh no, okay, that was right. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 5. Awesome. See, here I was thinking I messed up and I actually did exactly what I needed to do. It's so much nicer. It's always nice when these things work out like that, right? So let's go ahead and get this upgraded really quickly. Now, part of the reason for doing this is that, one, it makes it harder for the zombies to get down into the tunnel system by accident. If they were to actually, you know, come over and start beating on things for some reason. Because, you know, Joel... hey, puppy, how you doing? Because Joel does keep saying he wants to put in the dedicated digging zombie. That their entire purpose is to keep people from building underground. So... what we're going to do here is, once we have this done, that should be the last one, right? Yes. Okay, so now what I've been talking about doing is having a another entrance area over here. So we would basically say, just to give you an idea, we would have something probably something like this, where it would go up. And this would come over. Okay, so we'd have iron bars here and here so we could shoot out to defend it. All of this would be cobble, if not reinforced concrete. And then we would just take this up. Once we got like 4 or 5 layers up, I would probably just go ahead and make it out of wood, just to make it a little bit less expensive. And then this side would have the door on it. Actually, yeah, I wouldn't be able... if I took it out one more, make it a little bit wider, I'd be able to set up defense for the door as well. But because I'm gonna, when I get to the top of this, I'll have it ringed with iron bars so I can walk out over the edge and shoot down. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. One of the things that I do want to do with this is we're gonna go here. have second door here. Thought I heard zombies. I know I say that a lot, right? But yeah, so basically have iron bars on either side of this so that we'd be able to fire out. If we had to fall back, then we would have a second vault door here. And since this whole thing will be reinforced concrete, we'll make it a little bit nicer for defense purposes. We'll have the iron bars up there as well. So let's go ahead and take this stuff out. Get this going. So that we have the basics in place. Alright, so, and this is the beginnings of the long-term build, which is going to be for the actual bunker area. So let me know what you think. If you have any ideas for possible defenses, because what I'm going to do is, instead of putting spike traps around this, I'm going to put the fire traps in, because I want to use those in solo play, because we've used them in the multiplayer game, and they were a lot of fun. But I would like to use them in single player simply because of the fact that I think that with single player they're going to be a little bit more useful. But we will see. I've got a lot of fuel built up already, so we'll hopefully be able to get a few dozen of them built and get them in place. And because I'm using them in such a small area, I won't have to have a couple of hundred of them. I only need like 40 of them or something like that. Alright, so I'm going to do this. So we're going to go ahead and get all of this upgraded here. Hopefully get all this upgraded. I should have more than enough cobble for all this, but of course we get an airdrop, right? They love teasing me with the airdrops. Oh, hello. Wow. I guess they feel sorry for me since it's day 14. Alright, so let's get a couple more of these done. I saw where it was coming down, so it's going to hit the water basically again. But that's okay. We don't mind. Not that it really matters if we did or not, right? The game's going to do it anyway. Let's get the last couple of these, and what we'll do is once I finish this up, so we've only got a couple more to do, so I'll go ahead and finish this. Once we get this done, we'll go take a look at that airdrop, see what we got. Hopefully we got something nice. Alright, almost done. Okay, so the first part of the area is done. I'll need to go make 2 more of the doors, a bunch of iron bars, and I think we'll do that. End up doing that off camera. We do have a little bit of time before the horde actually gets here, because we don't have to worry about that until a little bit later in game. Now, I had thought about moving setting the door to the other side, but I figured with it coming in this way, the odds of the horde coming through the building are much less likely than for them coming in on the back side over here from the main road. So what I wanted to do is to minimize the chances of that actually occurring, but we'll see how this actually works out. Do we have any more? Okay. So we'll put the vault door in, put a second vault door in. Did I have any ladders with me? No. Okay. Now what we're going to do here is time to bunker this up. Because the idea is that if I have to, basically if I lose the entry area, being able to shoot down into here isn't going to do me much good. So alright, then we'll have the ladder going up so that we can get out of here. Alright, so that is our bunker entrance. I'll come back and, you know, style it up a little bit, but that should be fun. That should be fine for now. So let's go. How much inventory do I have? Not a whole lot. Let's get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. And we will go plant those on the way. So it is nice basically having some progress on this thing. But let's go here really quickly. There we go. See? Makes it so much easier. So let's make sure here where, yeah, see it's like right there in the water. Kind of tempted to go get one of the energy drinks and just zip out there, run across the water. Hey, lead, nice. Can definitely use that. Yep, out in the water it goes. Alright, let's go get this thing. Okay. So, yeah, last weekend, Joel and the Fun Pimps, basically, they released a new patch. They had some content updates as well. So, as part of that, they released a video of some of the upcoming features for Alpha 15, but they did say that Alpha 15 is probably still a couple of weeks out. So we should be okay for time to finish this build up. If we time it right, we'll be finished the build around the same time Alpha 15 is coming out. So, this is what I dislike about these things spawning underwater. Come on, a little bit closer. Wow, all sorts of stuff. What can we get rid of? And if we get out of the water here. There we go. Not really worried about the light 'em up challenge. That's basically you have to set a bunch of zombies on fire. So, little close there. Alright, so with that done, our base underway, I'm going to go ahead and call this one here. So if you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button on the way out. Usual spiel, if you haven't done so already or you're new around here, you might want to go ahead and subscribe. Not only do the likes and subscriptions help, but they also keep you informed as to when things are changing around here or when there's something going on. And I usually have something going on since I do release things pretty much daily. Sometimes multiple times a day, depending on the day of the week. And yeah, we will be doing the live stream tonight at 7 p.m. U.S. Pacific time. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to throw them down in that section below the video. And yeah, we're on out. We're gonna we're gonna get out of here. Anyway, I hope you all have a fantastic day. For the folks that make it to the live stream, I'll see you there. For everybody, I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you back here next time for more 7 Days to Die. As always, folks, take care. Be safe out there, everybody. Looks like the farm is ready for harvesting. Just need to go get stuff cooking now. And we are good to go.